So, thanks for sitting down with me, mate.
No problem, pleasure. Good to see you.
And you. Haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
Mate, for obviously, I know what you do.
Yep.
And you've helped me in the past with previous businesses.
Yep.
For like everyone this is for.
Yep.
What is your background? Like what with regards to SEO?
Yep.
How did you get into it? What have you done? What's your situation?
Yeah, so I actually got quite lucky, really. I started a business. This was about 10 or 12 years ago, and a friend of mine actually said to me, I went to a party, and he said, "Oh, how would you like to have your own website?" Yada yada yada. So I was like, "Yeah, no worries." And he then said, "Oh, well, I've already built it for you." And he was like, "Go and get a pay-as-you-go phone, and then the phone will start ringing." And that's what happened. A week later, the phone started ringing, and I started to get jobs and business come through this new business that I'd started, and I was just shocked at how he did it. And he actually did it for free for me. He's a philanthropist guy, ex-millionaire, or a millionaire or whatever. But I was just amazed at how he'd done that, and the way he'd done it was with SEO. And this was back in the day when it was a bit easier to do the SEO and a lot quicker. But what I did is I said to him, "I don't care about this business anymore. I want to pay you to learn how to know what you've just done for me." And that's how it went. And I sort of did one lesson a week with him for a little while, and then I did a course online with the University of California. That was a specialization, and that sort of goes into a lot of the history of, like, you know, where search engines began, Google, Yahoo, all the rest of it. And then just started to do a lot of SEO for my own businesses, and then started to help people along the way. Other companies and different niches and stuff like that.
So for the people that don't know, what actually is SEO?
So what SEO is really short and simple, is being able to make sure that your business can be found primarily on Google, which is like 99% of the search that anyone does. You know, it's Google it, you know. So SEO is basically just making sure that your website or your content is optimized really, really well to be found online. So let's say, for example, you're a dentist in the Hamptons, you know, in the US. It's like you want to make sure that when someone types in dentist in the Hamptons, you're at least coming up 1, 2, or 3. Otherwise, you're probably not going to get any calls, you know.
And are there different types of SEO? Like that would be local SEO. Are there different types for international businesses and things like that?
Yeah, so the local SEO will be targeted at local businesses or local services. So, like, you know, doctors, builders, electricians, plumbers. And then you would have, like, you know, your sort of more like national or multi-location SEO. So you might have SEO for like a chain of juice bars like Boost, you know, and then those sort of companies have to have an SEO strategy on a huge scale, because they need to make sure all their stores are featured. But then, and also a multinational like e-commerce business, let's just say like Tommy Hilfiger, they'll have like probably a big SEO department making sure that they're getting keywords and making sure that they're ranking their products into Google as well. And it is slightly easier for those because they've obviously got huge brand awareness, like Coca-Cola or McDonald's, you know. They pretty much don't really have to do much SEO, but they kind of do at the same time. They need to make sure they're optimized, you know. But they've got so much brand awareness that, then maybe don't have to work as hard as, say, we do, you know.
Okay. And for a new business owner, why is SEO so important? Is it important? Does it depend on the industry? Like, what advice would you give to new business owners about SEO?
Really depends on the niche, right? So, you know, the best way to just work it out really quickly, you know, is to go on and do a search. Just go on and do a search, or do multiple searches. And don't just search it from your own personal wording. Ask your mum or your nan or your cousin or your best friend or the guy in the shop, you know. Say, if you were looking for this, what would you search for? And then start to search those terms, and then you'll get a very quick gauge within 5-10 minutes. You're going to know if it's going to be easy or hard to actually make that a part of your business strategy.
So just for example, I'll just jump in. If I was, for example, starting a construction recruitment business,
Yep.
I'm based in Melbourne, but I service nationally,
Yep.
what would I be searching, and how would I gauge whether it's worth me doing it?
All right, so you might search, so you'd maybe look at, so you're in construction recruitment, right? So then you might search for, you might look at it and go, all right, what are the roles I actually recruit? Project manager,
Project engineer,
project
site
engineer.
manager.
So you might start typing in things like project manager recruiter Australia, or project engineer recruiter Australia, project manager recruiter Melbourne, or Adelaide or Sydney, using those keywords, and
So
then
we'd be
tagging
guessing what people would be searching.
Yeah,
that
because
for.
because you're in your industry, right? You've kind of got two clients, really. Yeah, you've got your candidate and your client, but you need to sell to both. Yeah, in a way. Yeah. So if the candidates are searching for you, great. That'll be maybe something that they search. If they come from overseas, move to Australia, and then they're looking for a job, they might want to go down the recruitment path because there might be a bit of a language barrier, or they might find some security in that. So and then also your clients that need a recruiter to hunt down staff, because good staff are hard to find, and you do a lot of the legwork, they might search something like construction recruitment company Melbourne, or and I think that those long term, we call them long tail keywords, where there are multiple words, say like 2 or 3 words or 4 words. The long tail keywords are a really good way to actually get them in there.
Okay.
Because you might find just different wordings that people use, and you might just find that boom, your one page on your website or whatever jumps right to the top from that long tail.
And this is a broad question, so as I'm sure there's multiple ways of doing it, but how does someone go about ranking for a keyword, or long-term keywords, or long-tail keywords?
Yeah, so we'd be here for a long time talking about all of the specifics, and it starts to get a bit technical, but you can go online and you can look for this, top 50 things to do for SEO on your website. And one thing I'm not going to go through all 50 of them, but a lot of them are.
Why not?
It's going to take us way too long. We'll be here forever. I'll be here all night. But no, there's a few big things, and there's if you are building your website, which I think some of that's going to be part of your course, Josh, or at least getting a website up, you'll find on Squarespace or platforms like that, you're going to find there's going to be boxes to fill in, H1 will be your main heading on your website. Pretty much make sure your keywords are in there. Also, another thing that is a really good, quick ranking signal is if you can try and get an exact match domain. So if you can find a domain name that reflects your business industry, let's just say it was dog grooming in Brighton. If you had the domain dog grooming Brighton, that is a small signal to Google of actually what you do. And it used to be that was a major signal, and then people moved away from it, and then people have now gone back to it because it actually helps Google understand your website. What you have to remember is Google is not a person, right? It's not like us, it's a computer, and they only understand the information that gets fed into it. So the more information that you can actually provide to that computer, the more chance it's got of sticking you in the right place in the search results.
Okay, so for example, if someone had buildingrecruiter.com, that might be quite a good domain name.
Exactly. Buildingrecruiter.com, constructionrecruiter.com, and it's not the be all and end all, but it will help you down the track.
Yeah. Okay. And so in terms of tips and tricks that people can put in place themselves straight away, because obviously this is a whole profession, and it probably wouldn't even be a good idea to try and learn the whole profession of SEO yourself, because A, you're not going to be as good as someone that's just able to do it, because that's what they do, and B, you're going to spend so much time not doing your own job. So are there sets of tips and tricks of things that people can do easily without engaging the help of an SEO professional? And also, what would you get an SEO professional to do if you were to engage one?
All right, cool. So you're a new business owner, right? I'm assuming everyone in this course is going to start their business, so you're a new business owner. And what do we all need to do as new business owners? We kind of need to bootstrap stuff, right? You have to wear like 5 hats, You've got marketing, sales, financials, all of those departments.
You are the business to start off with.
You're the whole thing, right? You're doing 10 roles, you know. So yeah, the last piece of advice I'd give you would be to don't go out and try to be an SEO pro, because it won't actually benefit you in the short term. SEO is quite a long-term thing, but there are some quick wins. So the first thing, get yourself a Google My Business profile. And for those of you that don't know what that is, when you go onto the map you go onto Google Maps on your phone and you search for sweet lolly store or sweet store or whatever candy store, you know, if you search for that, and then when that first store comes up, that profile, that's a Google My Business profile. They're free. Go and do it. Fill out every single box that you can fill out on there. Google are giving you the opportunity to put information in. Don't just skip over it. Fill out all the boxes. Put as many words as you can in there that are related. Make sure the categories are set up, you know. So if you're a recruitment business, you know, make sure that you've got recruitment business, and you can add some subcategories in there. Could be employment consultants or something. I don't know because I haven't checked the categories, but make sure you go through and check them all, and make sure you add them in. Add photos. The second part of this is that get some reviews on there. So Google really favors reviews on their platform because it helps their users on the other end, gives them a better user experience, you know. So if you know, we all do it. We go on, we find a restaurant, we check the reviews, yeah? That makes Google's platform really, really nice to use as a user. And Google want you on their platform because they want to sell money on ads, right? So from the other side of it, get your reviews in there. And I know it's hard because you might not have anyone to give you a review. So I'm not telling you to do anything dodgy, but you can find some creative ways to get some reviews on there from friends or family straight away. Don't send them from the same IP address. So not everyone on your Wi-Fi in your own house, don't do that because you'll get penalized. But, you know, just get a few on there, you know, 7, 8, 9, 10, you know.
Can you get away with it if you, say I was to reach out to a bunch of friends on different IP addresses, is there any way of that being linked through either social media or phone numbers or anything like that?
No, you'll be fine. You'll be fine with that as long as you're not writing reviews back on the same business, back to their business. Reciprocal reviews, Google are onto that, so you can't really say to the guy downstairs in the barbershop and say, hey, I'll write you a review right now if you write me a review. And I'll be honest, the public are smart, right? And especially the people you're going to be dealing with, like in a business-to-business settlement setting, if you start writing 10 fake reviews, those reviews have got to be good. And what my advice to you would be is to go and have a look at another company in your industry, read their reviews, and then start to you could even respin them in ChatGPT or whatever, and then use those to put them in, because that way you'll get an idea of what a real world review is, rather than saying, you know, the barbershop, oh my God, fantastic haircut, you know, blah, 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 great experience, you know. It's like they just look a bit average, you know. You need to put a spelling mistake in there, you know, things like that, because real people do that, you know. That's a real review, you know.
Okay.
So yeah.
So hypothetically, people are going to do that, you know. We're not endorsing it, but it's a good...
Don't do it.
Don't go and do that.
Don't do it.
I actually don't have any reviews yet, so I should maybe go and get some reviews, but I also should probably fill out my profile a little bit better, so I might implement a few tips off the back of this.
Another quick win that you could use is to get yourself listed on some business directories, you know. Get yourself out there in the internet and prove to Google that you're a legit business and that you exist around the internet. So that would be, you know, finding local business directories. There's a lot of free ones out there. Don't get sucked into all the big paid ones, and they will start to hammer your phone after you sign up saying, pay for this listing, you know, we'll get you 10 calls a week, and like they never do, and they're just salespeople and they're just trying to get you to sign up. But there's a bunch of free directories. Just go onto Google and search like local business directories or business directories Australia or business directories London or the UK, and you'll find a bunch of good free ones. A good one as well is to chuck a Facebook ad up as well. So just chuck an ad up for your recruitment service, and then that Google will find that in one which way or another, and they'll know that, you know, they relate back to your website, and do the same on like I think Gumtree in the UK. Craigslist in the US. You can kind of and then but local business directories is basically like the old school yellow pages or white pages or whatever you have in your country, you know.
Yellow pages is still a thing online though, I think, isn't it?
It's like yell.com, yeah. I don't know how well they do anymore, but just because they're competing with you in the search engine as well, you know. So
true.
That would be another really good quick win to do.
You've told me things in the past about consistency and making sure that everything that you put in one place is spelled the same format. What's the relevance of that?
Yeah, so we call it NPA, right? So name, phone number, and address. And I will just put a little caveat on this. Like, you know, some people will disagree if you do know about SEO, but that's the thing about SEO is it's ever changing and everyone's got an opinion. But we call it NPA, right?
They're entitled to their wrong opinions, aren't they?
There you go. Everyone else is always wrong, right? So we call it NPA. So it's NAP. Sorry, SEO people. NAP, name, address, phone number, right? So what you want to do is anywhere you write your business name, the address or the phone number, make sure that it's exactly the same on every platform. So I'll give you an example here, right? So if your address is 123 John Street, Victoria, Australia, and the postcode, if you write it on your website and it's John Street, as in John Street, that's how you need to present it all around the internet. But then to reverse engineer that, go and type your address into Google and then see how Google presents it. And see, we're doing what Google likes here. We use the format that Google writes. So if Google puts it as John St, that's the way you want to format it on your website, on your social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever you do, on any marketing materials, bottom of an email, that's all going to contribute to that.
And you're talking about Google Maps?
Google Maps,
so if you search your own address in Google Maps, copy and paste that, and that's how you should present your business address format.
You'll see, you type the address in and then it will pop up with a box and it shows you your address. That's the address format. Do not deviate from that. And on every other platform, that's what you need to do. Same again with the phone number, right? So with your phone number, you've either got the choice of putting like your area code. So in Australia, in Melbourne, it's like +61, and then your phone number starts, right? In the UK, I can't remember, it's been so long since. 44, for a mobile number.
Yeah.
So you either start with the 0 and the 7 in the UK, 0797 or whatever, or you start with
+44.
Yeah, but you want to make sure that matches up everywhere else. And same with your business name. So in Australia, if you register a company and you're proprietary limited, Pty Ltd, then whenever you write your business name on social media, in your email footer, anything like that, and on your Google My Business profile, make sure the name matches up, and then this just correlates all around the internet, and then Google won't have any confusion if you're like, you know, smartbusiness.com or smartbusinessptyltd.com. Make sure it matches. Okay. That's a really really big thing. And I will just reiterate about that Google My Business profile. Just really take the time and fill out all the boxes, because they're giving you a big opportunity there just to get a lot of data in there, and that links back to your website, and it's all just a big relationship, you know.
And when you're filling out those boxes in your Google My Business, should you be putting as many keywords in as you can, or is there too much? Like, what's the...
So what I would advise is to go and have a look, and I know this is a bit of a cop-out, but this would apply to any business, right? Not just being a recruiter, but go and have a look at your competition. Go and see how they fill their profiles out. And
only the ones that are doing well, presumably?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, but if they're doing well, they'll probably come up when you search for them, right? So have a look at the number 1s, the number 2s, the number 3s, number 4s, number 5s, you know, in the search results. Have a look at what the way that they're advertising roles and like what keywords they're using, and that's going to give you a massive help. And look, you can even jump onto ChatGPT and just respin some of their stuff, and then even if you don't use it word for word, you can still use that as a bit of a guideline, because we're not all the best writers off the back, you know, but it might just give you a structure or something to work with, you know, and you're like, oh, I can just change this word and I get it now, you know. And ChatGPT has been great for that. So I think you utilize the tools that you've got available, you know. But yeah, analyse the competition. Have a look and see what the competition are doing. I mean, you could probably even go and do this over the weekend or something, you know. And
I'll probably be doing a few of these things, I think. Even down to the most simple things that I actually already knew but just haven't done.
Yeah.
In terms of, like, you just said your email footer, like your email signature.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about like writing that consistently. I don't know what's in my email.
I'll give you a little tip. I'll give you a tip, and this is sort of like a sales and marketing tip, but make sure you've got your office address, even if it's your home address, it doesn't matter. Put that in your footer of your email, and you'll get through a lot more spam filters, because there's a lot of cold emailing in your industry. Yeah.
Yep.
Get your home address in there, and your business name, and even like your business license number in the US or whatever it is in the UK. And here it's an ABN. Chuck your ABN or your ACN in there, and then they start to you'll get through a few more email blockers.
Nice. That's a good tip, actually. I learned something this morning when I met with a client, because their emails were bouncing back to me. Their organisation was blocking it, and I learned exactly what the issue was. You need the right email address. So when you're sending it to the wrong email address, they don't receive it.
Yeah, no, it's not my email. I actually I learned something about this as well, and this will help you. This is the wrong video for this, but I'll tell you anyway. It's same again about emails bouncing back. You're going to need to know this. But I actually like legit businesses that I have, and I don't really spam people. I do prospect a little bit, but not on a major spam level, you know. And I got blocked. Like there's about 5 big spam blockers that all the big organisations use, right? So they either just go with one, the other, or maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And I actually got blocked, and it said you've been blocked because your email's got malware on it. And I was like, I don't have malware on my email, and I've been blocked. But then they actually, if you read that return message you get where it says your email's been blocked, there was actually an option to click on their website and go and have a look on their website, and it says if you want to follow this up, you know, click here. And you don't always go to click on those things because you're just like, oh, I'm done, I'm dead, you know, I'm out of the game. But I clicked on it, and it was just like, click here to reinstate your email, and it was like, type in the little verification code or whatever, and it was like, boom, your email's back online. And I was like, done. So it was like, good to go again, no problem, you know. So I was like, yeah. So always check those return emails and see if there's a little option to get unblocked or whatever, you know.
Huh. There you go. All right. Well, and that was just them verifying that you didn't have malware on there.
No, it was like they wanted to block me, but then I just unblocked myself off their spam list. So yeah, if there's another organisation using that same spam blocker, I guess what they're trying to do is make sure you're not a computer, right?
Yeah, okay.
You know, so they block you in the first instance, and they're like, oh, someone's actually gone on and unblocked, you know.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, cool. And then, so now, it would, off the bat, is there any more things that you would suggest someone do? How about when, like obviously blog posts, you get the option there to put a lot of copy out on the internet, and therefore have a lot of keywords and present relevance to Google.
Yeah.
What would you advise when writing blog posts? Are they a good thing to do, and can you be too spam heavy on the keywords? Or, like you've mentioned before as well, I know this is a big loaded question now, like original content and original copy versus something that's just generated or copied off a different platform. Like, what can you tell us?
Yeah. Even if you're not the best writer, Google loves original content, right? And when I say original, just anything that's new to the internet, you know. So even if you write sort of 500 words about a topic, or you know, something going on in a good one, like in the recruitment industry. Let's just say that you recruit in hairdressing. I don't know if people actually do that, but if you could write some industry news, you know, about hairdressing or something that's happened in the media around that, and then don't just regurgitate the news. Write your opinion about it as well, you know, and try and make it sort of like, just write something about it. And you can use ChatGPT for that part, and then edit it a bit, you know. Don't just copy and paste it straight up, because you want to make it readable as well, you know. But one thing I will say about that is, same again as what I mentioned about the Google My Business profile. When you are building your website, one of the biggest mistakes that people make, right, is they build this really lovely looking website, but there's no words on it. Like, there's no words at all. And even though words words can sort of clutter up the site as well. But usually, like the templates that they give you, there's quite big boxes for words and stuff, and people don't really know what to write, you know. But make sure, just really try it and dig deep and get as many words on that site as you can. And look, this is a really generalization, but the more words you have on your website, the better it's going to do. Better it's going to do in Google. And like, I can prove that to you, you know, like, you know, you go and look at any like, you know, let's say Coca-Cola or whatever, you know, they're going to have so many words on that site on all different pages or whatever, you know. Or any other business, like you'll find, and it's the same with your blog posts, right? Generally, the longer a blog post is, this is a generalization, the longer it is, the better it will do. And it has been the case over the years, and that does fluctuate, you know. It might be like, oh, 10,000 words this year is the optimal amount, and 8,000 last year. And what I'd say is don't worry about too much about that, just make it readable for the user, because Google is really going towards that user experience. So if it's only a 300 word blog post, but it's really usable for the user, keep it that way. It'll do well. Don't just add another 1,000 words for the sake of it, you know.
And I'll probably add to that in just like, obviously my knowledge isn't SEO based, but just as a concept, people get very bogged down, myself included, about doing the optimal thing, and what they're actually doing at the minute is fuck all. So doing something and getting a blog post up, regardless of whether it's 8,000 words or 10,000 words, if you do regular blog posts, I would imagine that would be much more favourable, regardless of the size, than not doing them at all.
Like, I mean, how do you ever send quite long, lengthy texts on, you know, to your mates on WhatsApp or text or whatever? A lot of these platforms that you're going to use to build your website, even WordPress, you know, there's an app for your phone, and you can literally, once you've got the template set up, you can type the blog post into your phone, boom, done, chuck it up. And yeah, don't be too precious about it, and don't get stuck in your own way. Just get some original content on there. And it can be informative, it can be an opinion piece, you know. It doesn't have to just be like, me, we recruit, we do this, we do that. It can actually just be about real world stuff, and Google will favor you for that. And then also, you know, you can just repurpose that as well. You can repurpose that into a LinkedIn post, repurpose it into a Facebook or an Instagram post, you know, and then you've covered all your content bases there in one go, you know.
What would you tell people? I don't see too much video content getting posted by people in the industry. Like, you occasionally see it, people put up videos on LinkedIn, or, you know, they might be speaking about a couple of roles that they've got, but I think people shy away from it because it's a bit embarrassing. And it's like, oh, here's a platform, LinkedIn specifically, of, I think I'm up to 9,000 followers now.
It's quite a bit.
Yeah, so if I fuck up, I'm potentially making myself look silly.
In a professional environment.
Exactly, and in front of quite a lot of people, and also, not just a lot of people, but it's people that I need to like impress, or that's how I feel anyway. But I think the reality of it is, it's probably better if people are expecting you. I was given this bit of advice by someone I used to work with, right? He actually, Connor, shout out, he actually did a very good job at putting videos up of himself and not worrying about it. And he said to me, like, mate, even if people click on it just to see you mess up, they're still clicking on it. So,
yeah.
Do you know, like, people need to get out of their own way, I think. But, sorry, I went off a bit of a tangent there.
No, it's so true, though.
What do you reckon on the value of that for SEO, like posting videos? How does that?
Yeah, I mean, you want to drive people. You just want to get work, right? You want to get sales. So whichever way that is, like on LinkedIn, the platform, it would be, you know, you post a video and then they'll probably contact you directly. But if you can point them towards your website, and then your website's like your shop front, you know, it's like, here, look at all this fancy stuff I've got for sale in the front of my shop, then, you know, you want to get them to making contact with you, you know. So yeah, if the video does a job where it drives them to your site to have a look around, you know. Also, there's like the lifetime value of a customer as well. They might not engage with that first video. It might take 10 videos for them to actually leave a like or a comment, you know, but then you've still got a like or a comment. Yeah. But yeah, exactly what you're saying. Like, you don't want to don't get in your own way and just put stuff up, you know. But we all do it. I'm guilty of it, you know. I'm guilty of it.
How about YouTube as a platform? If you've got a business YouTube, does that help you?
Yeah.
Like, does that?
So same again. Like, that's definitely like. I don't think we even. Sorry, this would be a quick win. Yeah, nice one, Josh. This will be a quick win that we. So with the quick wins, I think I said like get a Google My Business, join local business directories. The next quick win is go and get all your platforms taken care of and make sure your information matches up. And YouTube will be one of those.
Well, YouTube's owned by Google, so.
Exactly. So they're going to favour that. You can kind of put your website link in your profile in YouTube, and again, fill out all the boxes. You know, you can reuse the stuff you've written elsewhere. Just make sure you fill out every tab that you've got available to you, because they're giving you a spot to help you do better. You know.
Yeah.
And same again with your videos on YouTube. So with your videos on YouTube, make sure you get a good, in the video description, make sure you get a whole bunch of words in there that relate to the video. Like it can even be sometimes a transcript of the video, people do that. And that's got a bunch of keywords in there, it's organic, you know, it's new content, you know.
Are hashtags as relevant as they used to be?
I don't really know too much about hashtags, but it depends on the platform. I mean, you know, if you're using Instagram, right, hashtags. I've seen them used on LinkedIn quite a bit actually, which is quite cool.
I use them. I don't know why. I don't know what they're doing. I just think that it's probably better than not. I imagine if someone's searching something in the search bar, it would probably come up more relevant, but I don't know.
I think so, yeah. I think so. It's just like become like a generic thing that we just use around the internet now, isn't it? So yeah, it can't really hurt. Just don't overdo it, I guess. So it makes the user experience of the content really horrible. Yeah. You know, if you've got 3 words and then 400 hashtags below it, it's not going to be good, is it?
I think I hear that the optimal's like anywhere between 5 and 15 or something like that.
On Insta or on LinkedIn?
I don't like. I'm probably I'm regurgitating. But I'm probably speaking about Insta, I would say.
Yeah, I think, and you can also try and go for those like niche ones, right, as well. But because a lot of brands try and do that, they try and create their own hashtag. Yeah. You know. But yeah, I'm not sure if we'd be doing enough volume in the industries we work in to really get that off the mark, you know.
So we've covered quick wins that you can do by yourself, and I suppose the next thing would be if you were going to engage somebody to do SEO for you.
Yep.
It's endless the amount that you could put into it, right? What would you have them focus on? They'll probably advise you anyway, but what would you have them focus on, and what would you be aware of? Like, what would you need to be aware of that they didn't take advantage of? Like, how would you choose someone that's reputable, and how, like, what are you looking for?
Firstly, like, so let's just say in this course, right, and in recruitment, when you make a placement, you make a good whack, yeah, good bit of cash, right? So any good business, right, is taking that money and then reinvesting it so you can make more. So when it does come to the SEO, a lot of people will try, you know, spend the money and see it, and even though it's not tangible, you can't see it in front of you like a laptop or whatever, it's going to benefit you in the future. Find someone reputable, like, you know, have a look at their reviews and ask them if you can see a couple of their client examples. You can even call their clients, you know, because they'll be pretty transparent. It'd be like, this company, I've worked with them. You can call them or send them an email and say, how was it, you know. A lot of them will do like a month to month, which will probably be more expensive, or they'll try and sign you into a 12 or a 24-month contract, and then sort of like once a month they'll report to you what they've done. But what would I get them to do? First thing they're going to do is clean up your mess, because like, I know I'm being serious, right? Because the thing is, like, I did it, like, you know, everyone does it, right? Because you don't have to be ashamed. We don't have to be ashamed of that, because you know, you're just trying to get a website up, and you just need it to be there to start with. You just need it to be like, if someone just clicks on your site, it's like, oh yep, they're a recruitment company. But a proper SEO company are going to go through it. They're going to make sure all of your titles, all of the URLs are correct. They're going to make sure all that the techie stuff in the back end is all good as well. The page speed is really big, making sure the site loads fast. It's a big factor for Google. And that can get really technical.
Just quickly, while we're on that topic, would you suggest that people upload, if they're going to put pictures and videos, should they host that somewhere else, like host it on YouTube and put a link, or should they compress files before they put it on? How do they help that side of things?
Videos, host them elsewhere, like YouTube or Vimeo, I think I don't know if people still use Vimeo,
They do,
but that's
yeah.
good because you can do private links and stuff, people
And
can't
Loom
see it.
is another one if you're screen recording.
Oh yeah, that's one you sent to me. Yeah, there's plenty of platforms out there, but definitely don't want to be hosting any videos on your site because it'll slow the whole thing down and it's not going to be good. Photos, like generally the platform that you use, like either Squarespace or even if you're doing it through WordPress, you'll have a plugin there which will optimize your images and crush them right down. Generally, a lot of those plugins are paid. If you wanted a more free option, if you can optimize them beforehand, so before they even touch your site, just run all your images through like a website. Just go onto Google and type in image optimizer, and it will shrink the file down from like 1 or 2 meg down to like 100 kilobytes or whatever.
Do you lose any quality in the image?
You'll lose quality, but like the size, people are only ever really, the max they're ever going to view your website on is like a 42-inch or 50-inch TV. So that's when you might notice it. But when it's on a 15-inch laptop, like or a phone, you're never going to notice, right? So it just makes that file load a lot quicker. And because I don't know about you, we're all impatient in this world. So from a user experience perspective, like if I get onto a website and it's like, loading, I reckon I've got maybe a 10-second window before I'm about to get off that and I'll go to the next business.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, image optimization. But the SEO companies as well, they'll come up with a strategy for your niche and your industry, and it does vary. But yeah, they'll start to, and a lot of it is content driven. So they might offer you 5 blog posts a month as part of your package, or 3 blog posts a month as part of your package. They then outsource that to a professional writer who will do a bit of research, write a blog based on that, and they'll also they'd sort of just tidy up and trim up all the bits that you haven't done quite right.
I suppose hot tip might be, if you want to save yourself some money there, they're probably outsourcing it to a Filipino VA anyway. You could just do it yourself. You could
do that, you'll be surprised. Like if you go onto Fiverr, you will find that some of these services are actually not like, even to have someone that's like really good, not just like a cheap and dirty option. You'll find some people that are really really good, and to write a blog they might say $70 right, and it's a couple of hours labour for them or whatever, to write it. And if you think about it, if you make 15 grand on a placement, or 20 grand or whatever, or 10 grand on a placement, chuck some money at some blog posts, you don't want to be writing them. You want to be focusing on your business. But yeah, you've just got to get the template and stuff set up to do that. So that's another way. And you can also do that with your social media stuff as well. Like if you're not, you'll work out what skills you're better at as well. Because I'm better at some things and I'm not so good at others. Well,
I'm going to generalise here and I'm going to make assumptions, but I would say that most recruiters are probably like, if you're a small business owner and you're just getting started, you're probably better off putting your 2 or 3 hours into making 10 business development calls and then sourcing a couple of candidates in that time, like reaching out to a few candidates, than you are writing a blog post, which you're actually not, some people might be good at writing, but it's not what you do. You're better off spending $50.
Another little trick that I've learned exactly that, and another little trick I've learned sort of along the way of entrepreneurial sort of journey is, if I sit down, if I say I'm going to write a blog post about, I don't know, Boeing 777s or whatever they're called, 737s. If I sit down and I start to do that, and if after about 2 minutes or 3 minutes, it's not going to work, just get rid of it. Don't do it, because I'm not going to sit there and try and bash my head against a brick wall for 2 hours and still not have a good result. I'm like, no, I need to just not do this because I can't do it. And it's just kind of admitting to yourself where you need some help. But we also understand, you're in a new business and you're trying to do things bootstrapped, little to no cost, So yeah, it's, but yeah, when you do start to generate some funds, try to select it wisely where you do it, and content is a big thing,
I personally feel like, I know I've just suggested reaching out to a VA, like there are areas in which a VA would be helpful. I personally think that blog posts, with where AI is today and ChatGPT, I don't think there's any reason to not just get that written by by an AI and then
Literally just do it. Yeah.
just tinker with it yourself.
That's it. And like the AI is so good. I use it for so many things, right? Because even just to give me the structure, you know, like I've had to send some really harsh or not so nice emails to clients or whatever, where I've got to let them go, or you know, or we've had a problem and I've got to resolve that problem, and I'll put the problems in to ChatGPT and I'll just use the structure, you know. And yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. And if it's not right, you can say that's not quite what I wanted, you know, and then it'll redo it, you know, and then you can really actually, it's a tool that you need to learn how to use, like, you know, but when you start to really learn how to use it, it's brilliant, and it's really good for all of this stuff like content, social media, and you can really get it to dial in what you want, and the more you use it, the more it understands what you do, and you know, brilliant.
And the more specific you get, I'm sure that people have probably used it by now, but if you haven't, the more specific you are with your instructions, the better the product that you get out.
Absolutely.
But you can also give it, like, you don't have to rewrite in the instruction. If it gives you something that's not quite right, you can literally give it a command like, make it less formal, and it will change the whole thing to make it less formal. And then you can say, bit more formal but less formal than the first one.
That's
or,
it, yeah.
Do you know,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
you can tweak it,
Yeah.
or you could go less words, more concise, and it just condenses it.
Yeah.
It says the same thing, but it's more fit for purpose.
That's it, you know, you can say, write me a 100-word thank you email for sending me this free gift or whatever, you know, and it'll do it, you know. But you can also, it's obviously not quite Google, but it will give you some facts as well. So if you want to write a blog post about the latest recruitment software or something, you know, or like the 5 best recruitment softwares or whatever, you know, you can ask it for that, and you might get some fact finding in there as well, which then, you know, that's really good information, you know, and that's information that it's gathered around from the internet, respun it into its own words, and then provided it to you. So it's not just copied and pasted it off a website. So it's quite good for that.
What I will say is, if you're gonna use it to write job ads and things like that, change it up a bit. Like, it will spit quite recognisable structure out. It'll be bullet pointed. The first letter will be bold.
Emoji.
Sorry, the word at the beginning of the paragraph will be bold, and it'll be, you know, like, it's just quite easy to see. So
emoji at the end of every bullet point.
Yeah.
You know, it's really obvious.
Yeah.
I see it all the time now, especially when I see other businesses using it. You know, I'm like, that's AI.
Yeah, and then that's going to be, if a candidate comes by that, they're going to go, all right, well, maybe this is a real job, but maybe it's just fucking a recruiter fishing with AI.
Yeah. It just looks a bit like your eyes. You see 20 of them over the course of a week, and you just like scroll past it.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. So how does someone go about not getting their pants pulled down by an SEO specialist? Like, you see a lot of them. Yeah, we'll do this. It's going to cost you 30 grand. I wouldn't know what I'm looking at, and obviously me utilising you to do it for me previously, I trust you.
Yep.
Even though you were providing me reports of everything you've done, I don't think I even looked at them, because it's like, whatever, I trust that you're doing what you say you're doing.
Yep.
But if you don't know the person, what do you gauge?
Yeah, the monthly reporting is really big. So yeah, you don't even have to claim to know what they're doing, but you know, if they're at least, any reputable SEO company are going to have a monthly meeting with you, basically they'll at least, the minimum will be at least sending you a monthly report PDF or whatever, or some kind of online platform, you know, of what they've done and what the metrics look like. But yeah, so you make sure, start small. So start with the smallest package that they'll let you do, you know, and then, because they're going to want your business, you know, start small and then just see how you like them, you know, and yeah, people buy from people, right? So see if you like them, and you know, what's your gut feeling? Do you trust what they're doing, you know? And can you see measurable results in your calls as well, you know? Because at the end of the day, the first few months, 6 months, you might not start, you'll probably see a really big influx, a big difference within the first month, because they fix all the little things that you've done wrong. But then it might slow down a bit, but then yeah, it's a long game, you know? So as long as your call volumes and your business is going up by having them on board, then you're good, you know?
And how would you, I've sort of got an understanding of it, but for people that don't know the difference between SEO and Google Ads, because they quite regularly get conflated, what's the difference?
Yeah, so the same company will do that together. So Google Ads is something you can do instantly, right? So as long as you've got a website, but you can go on, you can create an ads account, and you can start running ads, directing them to your website. You know, so like I don't know, like let's just say you're a plumber in Texas, you know, Dallas, Texas. You can start running ads like leaky pipe will be there within an hour. You know. As an
that was enthusiastic,
you know,
mate. I like
that.
that. Yeah, you've been a plumber in a past life, haven't you?
No, but I'm just trying to shake up my examples rather than using Melbourne or whatever every time, you know. But yeah, if you know, so you run an ad like that, and then generally, so that's a paid thing. So every time someone clicks on that, you have to pay, and you set a budget for that, you know, daily or monthly or whatever, and that can really start to ramp up. Generally, if you had an SEO company come on board in your business, then they will probably allocate some of the budget that you pay them to ads to get you some quick wins. And during that time, they optimize your ad account. So with the ads, you know, you spend the most money really at the start because you're learning to optimize them. Like you can turn them off at different times of day, and you know, you can work out this is the best time, or this is when all the competitors have their ads running, so I'll run mine on the weekends instead of during the week. But yeah, and depending on your niche, like some niches like a lawyer, so let's just say it was like lawyer in Sydney, criminal lawyer in Sydney, as an ad, like that could be around $100 a click, you know.
I've got 2 ads up right now that are an A/B split for the like for the title and the copy.
Yeah.
So the picture's the same, but I'm trying to test what's working better for people. So then you can look at the metrics of each one, look at how much, you know, the cost per click was on one versus the other.
Yeah.
And if there's one that's got, in a, I don't know, 3 or 4 day period, 50 clicks, and one's got 10, and the 50 clicks is cheaper per click, just turn the other one off.
You know, yeah, you know which one's better. So if it's like Facebook, LinkedIn, or Insta, or even Google Ads, the way I would describe it to you, it's a bit like having a bonsai tree or a house plant, you know, where it's something you're going to hopefully have forever. And the more you work on it and the more you sort of feed it and then you optimize it and prune it a little bit, the better it sort of looks, you know. And
you won't have a house plant forever if it's not my fucking house plant. Is
that not a plastic one?
No, it's on its way out, mate. It's brown.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so just nurturing it.
Yeah, you just nurture it, but you have it forever. So yeah, you have it, it's yours, you know, you own it, you own that account, and the account is very, very valuable because there's a lot of learning that's gone into that account and optimization, you know, so yeah, it's kind of a precious thing.
Yeah. So when someone's getting it set up initially,
yep.
What I've done and what probably a lot of people will sort of go to do straight away is use a web builder.
Yep. Which
web builders are best, and is there a time and a situation where you wouldn't use a web builder? Like, what are the pros and cons? Obviously, money's a pro, it's cheaper, but what's the initial outlay is cheaper, but what are your recommendations around that?
Yeah, not the first part of the question, none of them really are better than others, you know, but because they're all there's a lot more than there ever was as well. And whichever one you go for, they do have an element of control over what your website, you know, and they have a bit of a control over you, and that's how they keep making you pay every month.
Is it relevant that Google has just sold Google domains to Squarespace?
Maybe, yeah, maybe. Squarespace, like, you know, Squarespace, what's the other really common one?
Wix. GoDaddy.
Yeah, I would Squarespace or Wix, like, boom, you can't really go wrong, and you'll probably find they're the most user-friendly as well, and probably going to get the quickest results. I did see another one yesterday called Odoo, and Odoo, this is not a plug, I'm not involved with Odoo at all, but it was sort of like you can actually do a lot of business management stuff in the back end of this website builder as well. So
like
it was
what?
like sort of spreadsheets and like accounting and financial stuff. So it was almost like they've tried to create, it's the first I've seen out of all of it, out of these platforms that have done it. But yeah, it could be the way that it's all going to go is that you'll just literally have one app for everything, which would be brilliant, you know. But yeah,
and that'll be called Google.
Yeah, well, Google's a bit. Yeah, Google will buy it, right? But yeah, so none of them are really that much better than others. The pros of using them is if you don't need any tech skills, they're going to have a lot of like color palettes there for you, templates. And I'll be honest, I was really anti-templates. I have been for a long time because I was a bit of a purist. I want to do all this myself. The last 2 websites I've used, I used a template because it's quicker. I needed to do it fast. Because otherwise you get stifled in your idea. As like an entrepreneur or a business owner, you know, you can. When I first started building websites and doing SEO, like I screwed a few up, you know, and to the point where like they just self-imploded, and I might have to start all over again, you know. And now I don't want to get hung up in those details. I just want to knock it out and get it done.
And also, do you reckon that your ego can get in the way there because you're like, oh, I can build a good design, but like I'm not a designer, I'm not a web designer.
Yeah, exactly. And the reality of it is you start doing it, and then you're so emotionally attached to it because you've just spent 7 days and you haven't left your apartment, and you've just been like eating whatever you've got left in the cupboards, you know, and
pizza packets all over the place.
And then you walk out and you go and show your mum, and she's like, it looks terrible, you know, it looks awful. I can't even read it. It doesn't even load on my phone, you know. Just use a platform, and then, you know, it's something that you can worry about down the line, you know, in a couple of years. If you're making 10 placements a year and you're making a couple $100,000, it's like, what's 10 grand to a website company or whatever to redesign it for you? Nothing, you know. So yeah, I would just say go with the builders. The other option is, if you are like tech savvy and you've built a few websites before, you'll know, go with the WordPress route, you know, and then you've got a bit more customization, and you can sort of set it up a bit easier.
I've never done this, but I think you can even use ChatGPT to write code for you now.
You can, yeah, you can. I've never done it, but yeah, you can, yeah.
I wouldn't even know how to do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what I'm asking it, but
you wouldn't know what you're reading.
Yeah,
neither would I really. I know a little bit.
Pray.
You pick up quite a bit of code, like enough code to get by with SEO and website stuff, but you guys are going to be recruiters. You don't want to be hung up on that. You know, just get a website builder, do that, and you probably even have some stock photography in there, because that's one other thing you struggle with.
There is a lot.
Yeah, so
I use a lot of I use Canva quite a bit for my actual like not print, but my
your
picture
sort of,
ads and my picture social media
your
content.
material.
There's a lot of stock in that, but I also have Shutterstock, which is quite cheap.
Yeah, another one a good free one is called Unsplash. Maybe you can chuck the link down below, but it's actually free, and you can't always find like exactly what you want, you know, but Unsplash is free, so yeah, that's if you just need to fill a gap for now, you know, you can always use that, and it's completely free, no sign up, anything. You just literally go on the image and click download. So
nice.
Yeah, you might not find exactly what you want, but yeah, like I said, if it's just like the background of a box on a website or whatever, you can overlay it, and you know what I mean. So yeah, but no, just go with the big builders and just get it done, you know.
So web builder to start off with, get it done with a template, do it quick, fill out all your Google boxes, sign up to your directories, get your socials set up, keep everything uniform. We've got, what else have we covered?
Make sure, just make sure that name, address and phone number is the same across everything. Like, I can't stress it enough. It's really, really important. And just make sure you get as many words as you can in there. Use ChatGPT for an idea, but on your website, write an About Us page, which I know is difficult when you first start out because you're a new business and there is no real About Us, but
you just make it up.
Make it up, and make it up, hack it, hustle it, you know, that's what you've got to do. Make it up, and you know, you probably read it back and go, that's the company we are now. You know, it'll probably give you some confidence in what you're doing, especially when you're making cold dials and stuff. You know?
Yeah. Okay, well, mate, I reckon that's probably most of the basics that we've covered.
Yep.
So people can go back through. I might put some key points in a document near this, or maybe at the end in the description, that are like key takeaways.
Yeah. Is there a way that you can create a post in the school group or something where I can answer some questions for people? I don't know.
Potentially, yeah.
So yeah, we could open up. I'll be happy if you want to open up a thing for everyone.
Well, what I'll do is I'll create another section where the discussion posts go and where the tips and tricks posts go. I'll create a section called SEO questions, and then if you've got any questions around SEO, chuck them in there. We'll create a time that Will can go through and just answer everything you might want to know about your SEO needs.
Even some basic website questions or whatever. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I'm not a designer though, so yeah.
And what he's going to do all of your websites for free. He said
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, actually, yeah, no. I will actually pay you to do them.
Well, mate, thank you for helping us out with that.
No worries. I just want to wish everyone like a genuine like best of luck on your entrepreneurial journey. It's the best thing that you'll do, and it gives you so much. It gives you a lot of headaches, but it gives you so much back in your life, you know. So, best of luck, everyone.
Like real quick at the end, just having been a business owner yourself and having worked for yourself, what are your main positives for having like owned your own schedule and managed your own lifestyle?
Some people, like, I don't really work well being employed, you know. I don't really like being told what to do. So yeah, having my own schedule is good, and just like the chance to have an uncapped potential in your life. It's not just about the money, but it's also like, if I work harder, I'll get more, you know. And people's like people's perception of money, of like, or people that have a lot of money or whatever, is like, oh, that, you know, they're evil, or they're sleazy, or whatever, you know, they're dirty, you know, or they're like filthy rich or whatever. But the thing is, money gives you a lot of opportunities in your life, you know, and it gives you an opportunity to actually do good things as well. Like, you don't see sort of poor people donating to charity or whatever, you know. It's only wealthy people that do that. So yeah, like, you know, just having the opportunity to earn what I want to earn. And yeah, like, I'm the kind of person that I like to work hard, and I like to be challenged, and I like to have new things and creative things to do. So yeah, you know, sort of, and also, yeah, having a bit of freedom, you know, not having to go somewhere 9 to 5. You know? Yeah, I think that's probably, I mean, I can ramble on about that for ages, but yeah.
Nice one, mate. Well, thank you very much.
No worries.
Appreciate it, and we'll give everyone an update when there's a few questions. We can jump on and have you answer them for them.
Can I do this now?
Yeah.
Peace.